Hello everyone, welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here again. I hope you're all doing well. And on today's video, we're going to be taking a look at how Bernd Leno, our goalkeeper, can become the best Premier League goalkeeper and how he could become maybe even the best goalkeeper in the world. Of course, Leno has saved us so many times. Just from the top of the head, I remember an incredible save he made against Everton when we beat them 3-2 a couple of months ago. I remember when that good save against Tottenham last season, those 1-1 draws against Sheffield and Wolves this season, he actually helped us get those points. So he's a really magnificent goalkeeper in terms of saves. I think he has made the second most saves in the Premier League this season, saves us every single game. But there are few attributes he needs to improve on to become the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Of course, for me, I rank him as the third best behind behind Ederson and Alisson, and maybe Lloris could be in the top 5. Maybe some other people rank him behind Lloris and maybe even behind Dubravka of Newcastle and some other goalkeepers, maybe even Kepa. But for me, I think his saving style and the way he can cover his defenders and play as a sweeper keeper, learned that from the likes of Ederson and Neuer. That really puts him ahead of the likes of Lloris and Dubravka. And of course, we haven't really had we haven't really had a goalkeeper or a defender we can depend on for such a long while. And Leno, for me, I think we can actually depend on him to save us in some games or majority of the games, because Seaman was our best goalkeeper. But after him, Lehmann was good for a couple of years, but as soon as we moved to the Emirates Stadium, he made some awful mistakes in the first 2 games, and Almunia replaced him. Almunia himself was a disaster. I remember when he conceded 4 goals against Barcelona. Also, Manuel was awful. Even Martinez, our current second goalkeeper, back when he was a youngster in 2012 when he beat Reading 7-5, I think he made like 3 mistakes out of those 5 goals. Someone like Fabianski was 80% terrible in his career, but I forgave him because he actually made us win our first FA Cup in 2014, or end our drought in 2014 by saving those penalties in the semi-final. Szczesny was okay, but he had a lot of drama and you couldn't really depend on him to save you in a game. Cech was the same. Wasn't the same Cech who was at Chelsea, played well for a couple of games, but as soon as he played his first game at Arsenal, he made a mistake. So he wasn't really the same goalkeeper. And I never trust these players coming from rival clubs anyway. So Leno is the first goalkeeper I've felt like we can depend on in a while. But unfortunately, we don't really have a defense that can complement him at the same time. So it really does affect us. But with that said, Leno himself has 3 attributes he needs to improve on. And I'll get into them right away. Number 1, everyone has complained about this, is his kicking. Every time he has a goal kick or every time the ball is passed to him, his delivery is very poor. I think that came from Emery's tactics, because having to play from the back made so many mistakes, gave away the ball to the opponents, put his defenders under pressure, put Guendouzi, Xhaka, Torreira under pressure by giving them the ball when they have like 3 players surrounding them. Every time he kicks the ball, it either goes out or goes straight to the opponent. So you can't really compare that to the way Ederson kicks the ball. Ederson, I think since last season he has like 3 assists. You can't really say that about Leno because his kicking is not that kind of class. So putting us under pressure is unneeded. Kicking straight to the opponents, as I've said, Emery's tactics messed him up by having to play from the back. Compared to keepers like Ederson and Alisson, their kicking is really good. Of course, Ederson and Alisson have made mistakes as recently as the Manchester United derby. Ederson kicked the ball to a Manchester United player and they conceded the second goal. So he really has to improve on that, his kicking. But that one, many people have mentioned it, so I won't talk a lot about his kicking. Number 2 is his communication with his defenders. Of course, it really does help if you have a set defense, if you have the same 4 players playing and the same goalkeeper playing. The issue here is also because we have Mustafi playing today, we have Socrates playing tomorrow, Luis will play today, Xhaka will cover the defense tomorrow, next week Bellerin is there, the next time Niles is there. So many defenders that you have, more than 12 defenders, and you never really know who's gonna play. So I don't think they can create an understanding with the defenders and the goalkeeper, because it keeps on changing and changing and changing. But with that said, if you have like 4 defenders at the same time, I don't really think his communication with them is good anyway. If you see people like Van der Sar back in the day and Oliver Kahn, the way they used to communicate with their defenders, if a defender makes a mistake, he shouts at him, or if the wall is not if the opponent has a free kick and the wall is not right, he would shout at the defenders, tell them do this, do that, move here, move there. I never see him I never trust him to talk to the likes of Luis and Mustafi like that, or demand something from them. So that one he needs to improve on. We need to see that he's a commanding talker and a leader at the back. But as I've said, if you get four defenders at the same defenders or the same partnership, I've put out a video recently of how Arsenal could line up next season, and I said I want Pablo Mari, Saliba, Bellerin, and Tierney at the back. If you can create a relationship with those 4 players, I think they can actually build something. And that's the second thing, communication with these defenders. And the third thing is commanding in aerial balls. For me, I've never felt like Leno is commanding enough from corners and free kicks. The Olympiacos game, the last goal Olympiacos scored, Leno could have easily come for that. That game against Everton again that we won 3-2, I felt like that Richarlison goal, I think it's Richarlison scored it, I felt like I could have saved that ball. So I never feel like he's commanding in the air. No one really mentions that, but I feel like you can't really depend on him on that. Someone like Cech was really good. If the opponent has a corner, you'd really feel like, wow, Cech will come for this one. Let's just mark our players, and Cech will come for this one, and he'll grab it from the air. Someone like David Seaman would do the same. I think I don't even think De Gea is good enough in aerial balls. So that is an important thing. You have to build trust between yourself and the defenders. And I don't really feel every time an opponent has a corner, you can actually depend on Leno to come for it. So I hope Arteta works on that with him. Coming to collect the balls is really important. So the 3 attributes he needs to improve on is kicking, communication with his defenders, and commanding in aerial balls or corners and free kicks. If he improves on that, he could easily become the best goalkeeper in England for me, because as I've said, Ederson and Alisson themselves have made mistakes, so I can't blame Leno for making mistakes. So for me, I trust Leno, one of our best players recently, probably in our top 2 best players alongside Aubameyang and Saka this season. So if he does these 3 things, he'll become the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Let me know in the comment section, is there any particular attribute you'd want him to improve that I haven't mentioned, or from the 3 that I've mentioned, any that you'd want him to improve on? Because you already know his saving game is top class, his sweeping is the way he covers the defense is top notch. So let me know in the comment section what you think about Leno. I also put out a community tab I think yesterday, asking what you rate him since he joined Arsenal. Is it a 7, an 8, a 9, a 10? Some even said 5, 6. Let me know in the comment section. Thanks again for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure you take good care of yourselves and your family, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.